I want you to understand that
Quiero que entienda
this is not a joke, that DWI is a very, very big problem in Harris County. Oh, Aaron,
Yes, Judge.
tell me what you got.
Ms. Kurtz is going to take the state's offer for time served.
Okay, just write it up.
She's ready to go.
Are you ready to go?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Miss Nolan Kurtz, come up. I'll do it next. This is really a shame. You know, you had such a great program in the palm of your hand that if you would have completed successfully, they would have dismissed this case. I want you to understand that. One day, it may not be tomorrow, may not be next year, may not be a year. One day you're going to go, damn, why the hell didn't I get this thing dismissed? Because it will now reflect as a conviction on your record. From now on, you'll be facing a minimum of 90 days in jail for any cases that you pick up. And I'm also going to tell you that if you ever get pulled over and even you have the slightest smell of anything funky, you will probably pick up another DWI. And this time facing a year in custody. Do you understand?
Yeah.
I would never, even if you've had a sip of alcohol or anything, get in the car because you're taking a humongous chance. You give up a lot of rights by entering this agreement. You give up the right to a trial, right to compel witnesses to testify on your behalf, confront, cross-examine your accusers. If you are not a citizen or a possible immigration consequence, you can be deported, excluded from the country, denied naturalization. You give up the right to appeal. So once you accept this agreement, you can never change this or undo this. It will reflect as a conviction on your record for the rest of your life. Do you understand? How do you plead to the offense of driving while intoxicated? Guilty or not guilty? It is above a 0.15, right?
Yes.
Is it true or untrue that you had above a 0.15? Give me 1 second. Your blood alcohol level was, it's true or untrue that you had a 0.15 or above?
Yes.
Yes.
I didn't know
Your
what it
BSC
was.
was above that number.
Okay, yes.
All right, ma'am. How do you plead to the offense?
Guilty.
Find you guilty, and I will sentence you to 3 days in jail. Give you credit for the 2 days that you've done. I'm going to suspend your license for 180 days. Do not drive until you get a license. What do you do for a living?
I'm a teacher
Sure.
in A-Leaf ISD.
Really?
Yeah,
It's going to impact you, man. Because you were a teacher, I will roll your court costs so you won't owe anything. Otherwise, you would be paying a $3,500 fine and fee to DPS. And if you don't pay that, you lose your license until you pay. I want you to understand that I'm doing this because you're a teacher. I'm taking away a bunch of money that you would normally owe. But I'm going to be on notice now. You come back with another DWI. The fines and fees normally add up to around $7,000, not to mention a minimum of 90 days in jail.
okay,
We're not asking much. All we want our streets to be safe.
yes. Understand.
Judge, to be clear, this is Miss Nolan Kritz. This is not a 0.15 DWI, Judge, and I didn't file the plea that way. This is a Class B misdemeanor DWI.
I thought I saw that it's a 0.15.
No, my plea, Judge.
Oh, okay. So no, it's not. Thank you for telling me.
Yes, Judge.
It's not a 0.15. Disregard that. Well, so basically what that means is from now on, it's a minimum of 30 days in jail, not 90. That's how the difference.
Okay,
All right.
okay.
Okay. So how do you plead to the offense, ma'am? I'll find you guilty, sentence you to it. Good luck to you. Okay. All right, guys. Mr. Villagomez, you know, I want you to understand that
quiero que entienda
this is not a joke, that DWI is a very, very big problem in Harris County. We lead the nation
Somos los líderes en
in
adopción.
DWI fatalities. Around the country, every 39 minutes, I think the statistic is I saw somewhere, what, every 39 minutes, someone is dying from an alcohol-related collision. In Harris County, if you watch the news, every
De las noticias,
day,
cada día
someone dies from an alcohol-related collision.
relacionado.
And when you get on probation,
Cuando usted
we mean business. And if I were to let you go,
si yo le dejo ir,
saying, just to let you walk out of here today, that would be enabling you, telling you that, hey, it's okay for you to take off for 8 years, do nothing, and then just go on and live your life. When it's absolutely not okay. And we're going to hold you accountable. And this is the way that we do it, by putting you in jail. It's not fair to everybody else who gets on probation, everybody else who does well,
hacen bien,
they get a good result where you do nothing, walk out of here for 8 years and you get, it's not fair. No one is going to reward you for being a good father. It's what you do.
usted
I have 4 kids. I try to be the best father I can. I've got a 2-year-old
tengo
that drives me up the wall. And even when days when I feel bad, when I get sick, do I get a day off? No, I never get a day off. Does anyone give me a reward for being a good father? No. The reward is hopefully they'll be successful adults in the future. So the reward is
la recompensa es
hopefully one day you will have good kids.
los hijos.
No one is going to reward you for being a good father.
Pasar por ser un buen padre.
Now, here you've worked out an agreement where it's 30 days in jail, credit for 2 days that you've done. Your lawyer has remarkably convinced me to allow you to do weekends. I'm going to tell you now that in all the time that I've been on the bench, I have never done this, ever.
De hecho, nunca jamás.
And I don't know why I'm doing
No
it
sé
now.
por qué lo estoy haciendo
I
ahorita.
shouldn't be doing it now,
Hacerlo ahorita.
but I reluctantly will.
Luego,
Now, I don't know if the sheriffs will listen. They might not. They may make you do all 30 days, I don't know, or whatever days you might have to do, with all the credit and everything. I don't know if they're going to comply with this. If they don't, they don't. But that's not on me.
pero eso no depende
There's
de mí.
one person that needs to get blamed for this.
Tiene la culpa por
Don't
esto.
blame me.
No me culpe a
Don't
mí.
blame him. Don't blame them. You blame yourself.
Culpa
And I'm going to tell you now that
que
there's 2 things.
hay dos
This now is a conviction on your record. So if you were ever in a car and you get pulled over, an officer will see that you have a DWI on your record. And if you have even the most remote smell of alcohol,
tenga solamente
chances are you'll probably back here again. From now on, you will be facing a minimum of 90 days in jail. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
The other thing that you will be required to
Otro
pay
de que
for
estaría requerido
is the fines and fees and surcharges. That's something that you're also going to be required to pay for.
tiene que pagar.
He did not have a week last time,
So did they order him? Who?
but it was an order. They have to pay.
Is that something that we do now?
Yes.
Okay, so you will be required to pay the fines and fees and surcharges. We will give you 2 years to pay,
Dar 2 años para
but
poderlo.
you will be required to pay it. And if you don't pay it,
requerido
you will
pagarlo.
go back to jail. For every $100 that you owe,
$100
you will sit 1 day in jail.
estar un día.
And I hope with all this,
Creo que con todo
it's enough to get you to understand. We're not out for blood,
no, estamos
but we want you to understand that we will not tolerate DWIs. Is it true or untrue that you violated your probation?
Yes.
I will find that it's true,
Okay.
and I will sentence you to 30 days in jail. I will give you credit for the 2 days that you've done. I'm going to suspend your license for 180 days. You did not incur a license suspension last time. So now, because your probation is getting revoked, you will incur a driver's license suspension.
Yeah.
I will sentence you to the time. I will allow you to do it on weekends. So you will have to turn yourself in by every Friday by 6 p.m. And then they should let you out Sunday in the middle of the night, some give or take. There you go.
Yes, that's right.
So if you see her anywhere, it's not construction. No problem.
So he needs to initial these, right? Doesn't he need to initial these?
That's just your copy. Everything else is on attorney.
Has he
Yes.
initial everything? Okay, good. Do you have any questions, Mr. Villagomez? Okay, all right, good luck to you, sir.
Buena suerte, señor.
Thank you, Judge.
You did 4 victim impact panels. Why? Is Michael here? You did 4 victim impact panels in this case. Why?
For the DWI judge.
For Velasco Morales. It's a DWI, it's a 0.15 or above. And can I see the plea? Oh, I have it, I'm sorry, I have it. We have 1 year Harris County Jail, probated for 18 months, thinking for a change, 4 victim impact panels, which is there something happened in this case that's egregious?
Yes,
Tell me.
Judge, this defendant crashed into a drainage ditch, and it was a very major crash. And the victim impact panels are, you know what they are. I mean, he sits in front of people that have been affected by DWI cases, intox manslaughters, things like that, where their lives have been changed forever. I mean, if this defendant, it could have easily changed into.
Was
an
anyone
intox
injured in this
manslaughter.
case?
No, Judge.
I just wanted to know why.
Yeah, any crash like that, I'll always do an intensive amount of victim impact panels, always.
No, Mr. Velasquez Morales. All we want are our streets to be safe. And when you consume alcohol and when you get into a car, you have a piece of machinery that's 4,000 to 5,000 pounds. And when you hit something, you destroy whatever you hit. And when you have alcohol on board, everyone else is always the person who suffers, and you never get a scratch. What we want you to understand is that we mean business. And you continuing to consume alcohol in this case tells me that either you don't care about our bond conditions or you have a true problem with alcohol that you can't stop. And I want you to understand that if you ever test positive for alcohol again, while you're on this probation, I will put you in a rehab facility in the jail. I don't care what the positive comes from. I don't care what your excuse is. No means no. And if you have a problem with alcohol, I'm going to address it for you. Do you understand? You are extremely lucky that you are not going to jail today. But that luck, it's not going to happen again. You got to imagine that if you go to jail and immigration puts a detainer on you, who's going to suffer?
My family.
Right. You got kids? If you have kids and you go to jail for 6 to 9 months, they're going to look for help for someone else. They're going to look for love and support from other people, and you might not look for and you might not like who they run to for love and support. They need you. As long as you can remain alcohol free, that's all we're asking. The agreement that you've worked out here is 1 year in jail. We will probate that for 18 months. As part of the agreement, you will do thinking for a change. You will do a DWI education class, 4 victim impact panels. You will also do a TRAS, which is an evaluation to see what other conditions you may need. You must fulfill those conditions. No alcohol, no drugs, no breath test refusal, meaning that if you're pulled over in a car and an officer asks you to submit to a breath test, you must do it. A guardian interlock and a $100 donation one time to Mothers Against Drunk Driving. As long as you can comply with these conditions, you and I will be fine. But like I said, one time you test positive, you are on notice of what's going to happen. You're giving up the right to a trial, right to compel witnesses to testify on your behalf, confront and cross-examine your accusers. If you are not a citizen, there are possible immigration consequences. You can be deported, excluded from the country, denied naturalization under federal law. You give up the right to appeal. Once you plead guilty, you can never change this or undo this. You also need to understand that this, it will reflect as a conviction on your record. If you are ever pulled over in a car, an officer will see this DWI. If you smell like alcohol or dope, they will immediately take you in. Will most likely take you in, and they will be charged with a second. From now on, it's a minimum of 30 days in jail. Do you understand? I would never, even if you've had a sip of alcohol, get in a car again. How do you plead to the offense? Are guilty or not guilty?
Guilty.
I will find you guilty. I will follow the agreement. What does he do for a living, Mr. Lopez?
Soldadora, soldador, welding.
Judge, would you be willing to, the state fine, would you be willing to
That's why
waive?
I'm asking, what does he do for a living?
He's a welder, Judge, he's been working for 3 months. I don't know, ¿cuánto? How much do you earn a week?
Ahorita estoy ganando 800, 700 igual.
I'm earning around 800, 700 a week.
How many kids do you have?
¿Cuántos hijos tiene?
3.
Three.
And you support your kids?
¿Apoya a sus hijos?
Sí,
Yes.
viven conmigo.
They live with me.
Judge, I think 800 a week is what he makes with 3 kids, a family and household.
Trabaja ella también.
She also works.
Los dos trabajamos.
We both work.
Happy that you're doing the probation,
Que estoy contento de que está haciendo
because
esto
I want to see change in your life.
en su vida.
I will tell you this, though, if you come back here with
Si
another
regresa aquí
DWI,
con otro caso de manejo
it's now
intoxicado,
$7,000 that you're going to owe in a minimum of fines and fees. I'm happy that you're doing the probation so we can make sure that you're clean and sober. As a reward for you now, I will take that off. But you are on notice. One time you test positive into a treatment facility, you will go.
ir a una facilidad.
Do you understand? I don't care what it is. I don't care where the alcohol came from. Hand sanitizer, tequila, lollipop, hair dye. I've heard it all, and I don't care for excuses. Do you understand? Okay. All right, CC, you can give him credit. All right, good luck to you, Ms. Morales. All right, Mr. Lopez.
And we keep it working like Oouchie the boss. We tryna catch up like we hit us a fault. We gotta win, ain't taking no loss.